In 2022, a team of geologists pointed new imaging equipment at the ground beneath Yellowstone National Park. What came back on their screens made several of them stop talking. Beneath the park's calm meadows and tourist boardwalks sits a body of partly molten rock the size of a small country. Scientists have known about it for decades, but this scan showed something they hadn't seen before. Certain sections of that reservoir held far more liquid rock than the surrounding material, not evenly spread out, clustered. And clustering matters, because it's uneven concentrations of melt that geologists watch most closely when judging how close a volcanic system is to actually erupting. To understand why this matters, you need to know what's actually sitting under Yellowstone. This isn't a mountain with a crater. It's a caldera, a basin roughly 30 miles across, carved out by 3 eruptions so massive they buried much of North America in ash. The most recent happened about 640,000 years ago. Since then, the system has stayed quiet. Simmering, but quiet. But quiet doesn't mean still, and that's where this story gets uncomfortable. Every year, Yellowstone shakes. Thousands of small earthquakes ripple through the region, most too weak to feel. Scientists at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory track every one of them, along with something else that's harder to explain away. The ground itself rises and falls, sometimes by inches, as magma and hydrothermal fluids shift beneath it. It has done this before, without warning of an eruption, but researchers still measure it constantly, because a caldera this size doesn't give many second chances if the pattern ever changes. Then, in July 2024, something happened that made the abstract science suddenly feel real. A hydrothermal explosion tore through Biscuit Basin, sending boiling water and rock fragments into the air, just feet from where tourists had been standing minutes earlier. Nobody was killed. But the explosion was a reminder that Yellowstone doesn't need a supervolcano eruption to hurt people. The heat and pressure just beneath the surface are already doing damage on their own. So what does all of this actually add up to? Scientists are careful here, and for good reason. The odds of a full caldera-forming eruption happening in any given year are extraordinarily small, smaller than the odds of a large asteroid strike. Yellowstone is not overdue. Volcanoes don't work on a schedule. But that's not really the point of this research. The point is what the system is teaching us about how the planet actually behaves beneath our feet. Yellowstone is one of the most closely watched geological features on Earth, and even here, with every sensor pointed at it, scientists are still finding surprises in the data. That melt pocket discovered in 2022 didn't prove an eruption was coming. It proved something quieter and, in some ways, more unsettling. Our models of what's happening underground are still catching up to what's actually down there. The ground beneath this park has destroyed continents' worth of landscape before, and it will likely do it again, just not on any timeline a human being will witness. For now, it sits there, shifting, venting, being watched, and that, more than any prediction of doom, is the real story here. The Earth is not a finished, settled thing. It is still moving underneath the calm surface we walk on every day. So now you understand what that 2022 scan actually found, why the ground at Yellowstone keeps shifting, and why the Biscuit Basin explosion mattered more than the headline suggested. If you want to see what happened the last time this caldera actually erupted, and how it reshaped an entire continent, subscribe